Look where we are. We've made it far. The overgrowth is breaking apart. Step by step, don't rush ahead. Winter's kind. She gives you breath. Fate will come. For now you're numb. Take my hand. Keep looking up.
Round of 16. TY. Bunny. Hurricane. DRG. GSL Season 1. Code S. Africa TV Freak Up Studio Live. LG Ultra Gear and Hot 6 2021 GSL Season 1.
Never give up, don't give up now. There's still hope in the dark.
We are back and ready to go into our final match. TY already eliminated. Now it's up to Hurricane and DRG to fight it out in the best of 3, and the winner moves on to the round of 8.
Dude, already the round of 16 is pretty wild with who's made it through and who hasn't. But the round of 8, if Hurricane goes up, it's like it's not going to look like any round of 8 we've ever seen.
Yeah. Yeah, this is...
And that's not a slight on Hurricane. It's just the landscape is changing.
Yeah, no, I think that's the big takeaway. It's actually very exciting. I mean, Hurricane already smashed DRG. I mean, if he does it again here, let's usher in the new era. Let's do it.
Well, I mean, he really did smash DRG. DRG did not look good against Hurricane in the first series. And DRG is one of my favorite players of all time. But, like, honestly...
I have more questions than answers after their last best of 3 for sure.
He was bumbling through that ZVP.
Yeah, it was an odd one to watch. Game 1's going to be on Romanticide. Let's see if DRG can come back or if Hurricane does it again.
2021 GSL Season 1.
We stood at the edge of the world. Seize the stakes. They're living a life like 10
Hurricane. Team NV, DRG.
All right. Well, has to take it as third. Hurricane blocking that. Saw that earlier when they first played. Just double checking. All right. Now we wait a little bit, see what the opener for Hurricane is going to look like.
Yeah, let's see what goes down here. I'm a little worried for DRG. I mean, obviously, I'm going to be happy for Hurricane if he advances, but the difference between the ZVT and the ZVP from DRG today, it could not be more pronounced. And you know, both the games, they were very straightforward. You know, if you wanted to show a Protoss player, like, okay, what does it look like when you play a Zerg and win? Like, you played really, really well. It's like just pushes like that.
Yeah, but normally there's like units there that might be
that
able to
fight
stop
you, and
like,
yeah, there's a back and forth.
Which didn't happen in game 1.
Well, honestly, it didn't really happen in game 2. There was an army that I think was intended to counterattack, and he just killed that, and then went and smashed the next base. Now, I mean, DRG, obviously, this guy is very smart. He's very adaptable. He's been, at times, the best StarCraft player.
Yes, absolutely,
so, I mean,
multiple times.
You know, he's going to be able to take these variables and try to, you know, engineer something that's going to, surely is going to be stronger and probably is going to be very different looking You know, part of it does seem like in ZVT, he's able to pretty much drone up as much as he needs to, and then he's at the point where you can't stop him.
Yeah.
He's like too big to fail. But
Well, he knows how to get his damage in ZVT, and he knows how to kind of defend enough to get to that point. Whereas here, okay, what were the big problems? Game 1 against Hurricane, he overdroned and just completely had no units when the push came.
yeah, he had no respect for an incoming push.
Game 2, I think he opened up much better.
Yeah.
He deflected a lot of things, but then didn't have a follow-up. It didn't even look like anything. Right? He just got 2-2 and didn't go hive and like made a bunch of units and went across the map, but it was very late.
Right.
Right? It wasn't like you see some players that love to go across the map and attack. Solar will make a bunch of Roach Ravager and go and attack you, but it'll be early enough that it can do something, right? So those are two very different games from DRG that he lost very, very badly. So I don't know. Maybe he was just a bit off. Maybe he's found his stride now and he's gonna show us what his ZVP really can look like.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, you know, you can come into some matches and be completely thrown off by new play styles. That's something that very strong tournament players have done, and it seems like Hurricane did it this time around. I mean, he did a very different PVZ to kind of set the tone, to prime DRG for what he had in store. And DRG got wrecked in the first game, like harder than any of the other players really have been wrecked in games, minus the one where Bunny just rolled over TY because he had more barracks.
Yeah.
But it did seem to throw DRG off, and DRG didn't seem to be as confident or as prepared for a much later game push. This game looks a lot like the game 2 we had with these two players, right? He's going back into the Void Rays. He's got an Oracle. I think he only has one, right? Or does he have two? One, right?
He has one Void Ray and one Oracle right now.
Right, okay. And then I guess he'll take a third, and there'll be some kind of setup for a push. Again, one thing about getting the Oracle and the Void Ray is you don't know if they're making more Void Rays behind this.
Yes, that's very true, and I think that's a big part of the builds that we're seeing out of Hurricane, because he alters his play a lot with these Void Ray openers. Now, it does lose out of depth, a little bit sloppy there, but that's okay. Not the end of the world. Third Nexus is going to be going up. And he's just kind of macroing off 4 gates and not really making any other Stargate units. So I'm really unsure of exactly what he's doing. It seems like he's just going to go across the map with like 8 Adepts or something. That's what it's feeling like right now.
Yeah.
I think he has 6 right now, or 8. Oh, he has a bit more than that. Never mind. So he has like, how many Adepts is that? 3, 4, 5, 6. He has 10 Adepts. Okay. But yeah, let's see what he can get done. There's Banes on the way. A lot of Lings.
Yeah.
Queen count not that high.
He's going to see the Banes are coming. Whoa, he's going to commit?
Yeah.
I don't know about this.
Well, it's not like he has Glaives on the way and he doesn't have a Prism up here, so maybe he feels like he needs to do it now to get value out of it.
I guess if you waver on Adepts. He does get away. That was pretty sick. The thing is, the Banes are faster than the Adepts. Can he target the Banes?
Well, that's good connections right there. Kills all of them. That did not do the damage he was looking for, so very strong defense.
Premium splash damage there from DRG. Is there counterplay? A lot of Lings are headed out on the map.
Yeah. Well, he does have that +1 melee, so you can really chunk through things. There's not that many units. Oh! Yeah, just barely unable to get around there. He's trying to like bait force fields and stuff there. Doesn't quite get it, but gets some Lings into that natural mineral line, and now actually gets some of the sentries, it looks like. Okay, this is good counterplay. Oh my god, is he really not going to get that one? No, he is going to get it. Okay. The overcharge, being crazy as overcharge sometimes does. About 40 Lings dying to that sentry.
Completely was shut down. I thought that was actually going to do more damage, to be honest, when I saw him heading out.
Yeah, I guess he got 2 sentries and like 5 probes and a zealot with that.
It's not bad. It wasn't a total failure.
Yeah. I feel like he could have run a little bit sooner, but he thought the Lings were going to, a full surround on a sentry with Lings. It feels like the sentry should die, but the overcharged battery, fix that up. Baneling speed on the way here.
We're actually going to have a counterattack now. Is this a commitment? He's going to recall this, right?
Okay, I gotta say that right now this looks, DRG's build looks very similar to Game 2 that he had against Hurricane before.
Yeah.
Which was the Stargate game as well. Hurricane moving out.
Where are the Banes?
Yeah, I'm not sure. He does have some, though.
Yeah, really good control by Hurricane with the Zealots.
Yeah,
He's basically
those force
waiting
fields.
to commit with the attack. He's going to get a denial on this. I'm sorry, guys. I thought there were going to be a bunch of Banelings somewhere. And now I'm not seeing it.
He did make some Banelings. I'm trying to...
Oh, he's going to lose the Oracle. Nice catch.
Did we see him use the Banelings somewhere? Oh, wait, no, he did use the Banelings to kill the Adepts. Remember when they shaded to the third?
Yeah, I just thought he would have had more when this
okay.
attack was coming out,
Yeah.
so it's just sort of surprising.
But yeah, forcing the cancel's not bad there for Hurricane. I think that was a really nice counter pressure.
Okay, so another attack's coming in. And Protoss is taking his fourth. Zerg does not have a fourth. That was a pretty big attack in there to actually get the denial on the fourth base. It's only halfway done now. Protoss is slowly getting ahead. 2 Archons in here. Sometimes you can drop this to actually soak the Baneling shot like we're seeing right here. It's important for the Zerg to not actually let these Banelings hit like they just did there, because the Archons can get away, the shields can reach in, and you know, Banelings are basically the best unit in the game if they connect to a targeted value.
Yeah.
If they're just shot down, then you're getting further and further behind. That's why one of the easiest ways, you see a TVZ, for instance, if they just shoot down all the Banes, then, there's
Zerg can just
nothing
die.
there. Yeah.
Now look at this spread of defense. He does have Psystorm. That is a lot of Zealots in there, so if the Banelings can connect on that, that's going to be pretty tough.
Okay, he does not want to Psystorm too many of these Roaches. I know he kind of has to, but if you can get the Banes, it's much better. You kind of want to hold out. Storming the Banes is going to get you freedom here and allow you to keep your fourth. Very tricky attack happening here.
Yeah, it's not really working out all that well. That was a beautifully defended base, like a good spread of cannons, so they can't be banged down. He has a Psystorm, he has the overcharge on the battery, he has multiple Archons, a Prism. Really all the tools that he needed here. And this was kind of similar to what DRG was trying in that other game.
Yeah, this just is not working. Like, there's ideas here, but they seem very half-baked.
Yeah, and I think the problem is if you're going to do a full-on attack like that as DRG, you need to greatly reduce their tech in the Protoss army.
I agree.
Because that's like how you beat a Zerg, is by just building up your tech units, right? Like retaining Immortals, retaining Archons, retaining High Templars. And he didn't really kill very much there. He killed like Zealots, and that's not it.
Yeah, and now the push is going to come through. And again, if he can keep the Immortals alive and he can basically avoid losing the Warp Prism, Zerg's doing pretty well here. But again, as you were saying, Artosis, I mean, it's being illustrated perfectly here. If you keep the Archons and Immortals alive, and then you just basically fill in the Tier 1 units, they're really your cannon fodder. That's it. GG. Hurricane just keeps winning in the same style.
It was a similar game to the second game that they played on Juggernaut in their first series, where DRG did an attack that honestly is not really going to do very much. He was like going towards 2-2 on melee. He has Ling, Bane, Roach, Ravager, but not enough has happened to reduce the quality of army that his opponent has. And then when they have that fight, he doesn't really reduce it any further. It's like, yeah, some of the High Templars maybe like a little bit dies, but he keeps enough. You know, when you see Zergs win with attacks with that like mid-tier army, the games that they win are the ones where you actually get all the Immortals and you kill the Archons, right?
Or you shoot down the Warp Prism and then they get overwhelmed and they have to recall and you gain your momentum back, but
it's really about reducing those high-tech units.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you got to shut that down. Let's see, man. I don't know. It looks like Hurricane might just win Game 2 unless DRG can really shift gears into a different style.
2021 GSL Season 1.
We stood at the edge of the world, seized the stakes.
Hurricane. Team NV, DRG.
It's so weird to see this difference in ability in each matchup. It's so funny. I mean, just to really, suffer in PvZ and get overpowered, but then in ZVT, you appear to be the best player in that matchup at the world on any given day. It's so funny to see the lopsidedness, because if DRG could frankly get his ZVP even close to his ZVT, he could win this tournament.
Yeah. It's hard to win it off like one good matchup. That's a pretty rare thing.
No, I mean, it happens if it's like, oh, all the Zergs are winning, and then Maru is amazing at TVZ, and he can do it, But yeah, it's strange to see a player that is this seasoned, that is this much of a veteran. And look, I mean, I think we're kind of in the second era of DRG, right? I mean, he really was the guy in Heart of the Swarm, and he's obviously been good off and on in between then, but he's looked so strong that I'm kind of, as a caster, trying to figure out where to put him, in these tournaments that we're doing. But as we've casted more and more games, I just look at this and think, well, he just needs to get better at the other matchups. ZVT is not an issue at all.
No, it's not.
I mean, you're beating TY of all people, and I think TY honestly was playing better in those games than the Bunny games. I think the Bunny games come down to, I think, not the correct build order decisions and maybe not really respecting the strength of Bunny.
Yeah. Well, I guess maybe he's having some trouble with the way he's attacking Protoss, because that game, like, his early and mid game looked good, and then he does this attack that doesn't work out, and that is, we've seen that twice from him so far against Hurricane. And we could just chalk up maybe game one in the first series to being caught off guard, right? Because you just don't have units.
Yeah,
Obviously,
sure.
You have to have units to stop the push. So, and maybe this is the issue. Like he needs to have a good first fight, and we haven't seen that yet from him. Like a good first attack, rather.
Most of playing Zerg is surviving a series of attacks. That might sound silly, but it really actually isn't. Like, Zerg are not often pushing first in matchups. There are a lot of times, I mean, there are definitely special attacks they can do, but a lot of times it's like, okay, well, that this attack's going to be inbound. Get ready. Get as many drones out, but, get a finger on the pulse for what your opponent's doing. Try to figure that out, and then get ready to thwart it.
Looks like we're going to have a Glaives build coming out of Hurricane. We'll see which follow-up it's going to be. Will it be like DT? Will it be an additional base? Mortal push. A lot of possibilities here. First, we have to see if DRG can properly defend it. The 10 Adepts that came after me definitely defended well, but that was very different from what we're going to see here. Prism will be coming out relatively soon here. Oh, look at that. The Adept can see him.
Oh, I didn't know
cool.
about that on this map. That's funny. Well, that's actually pretty big, because it doesn't seem like DRG knew about that either. He hit it over there. And that's actually a supply block pretty early on in a pretty important build, and I think Glaives is making a lot more sense right now. This is one of those funny things where, you pretty much never expect to lose an Overlord that early, right? You wouldn't park it out there. You wouldn't even send it over there if you knew that could be an issue. And now with the hiccup in the production, suddenly, what looks to be more of an old-school Adept pressure is suddenly a lot stronger.
This is going to be a little bit scary. He doesn't really have the units yet. He is making 8 roaches. And he finishes the shade in. Big surround here by the Lings. Queen's dealing a lot of damage as well.
Okay, this is actually going to be handled much better than I thought. Can he get another warping round here?
They're going to finish that shade. 3 making it over to that third.
He is warping in for more inside the main.
In the meantime, he does have the Sport Bait coming down and Immortal being made, so definitely another push is going to be inbound. But how much damage will actually be dealt? Only 3 drones killed so far, but a decent amount of Lings. Oh, he throws on a Forge as well.
Yeah, I
We
guess
might
he's
see
gonna.
like Disruptor drops into a third.
I guess so. It did, by the way, that I thought it was going to do a lot more damage because he killed the Overlord. Didn't seem to be as big of a deal there for DRG. I mean, he pretty much slapped that down. There were drones killed, but not enough to really make a big difference here.
Coming forward. The 8 Adepts, I mean, you can fight those roaches.
Yeah, DRG's control really good, even microing back that one roach. Fakes the dive in, but generally speaking, in the current state of SC2, if the Adepts don't get it and start killing drones, this slowly loses steam, and we go into the next phase of the game, basically.
Now, Blink coming up, speed for the Prism for those Disruptor drops. I'll be interested to see if he goes Colossus with this as well. We saw some of that out of, I want to say, Zoun and Trap last year. It seemed pretty effective. Yeah, Speed Prism Disruptor drop's always very exciting. Let's see what he gets done. Yeah, there's the Colossus as well. So definitely a very strong 3-base timing attack will be coming as well.
Okay, what's exactly back at home here? I'm just seeing one Stalker. Some Adepts are coming in. They're not in the right spot to really be safe. It looks like he can force field this if he needs to, but DRG's being pretty smart. He realizes there's an opportunity here with these units in the middle. Here comes a Disruptor shot, takes out one. And beautifully done. Gets a force field. There's already some links here on the inside. Nothing that can really fight this for now down here. He's going to have to pick up these Disruptors, try to keep them safe, but this may be the attack that DRG needed to take game 2.
Yeah, there's just no units here, and he gets in on top of everything. Colossus pops out. He hasn't lost that many drones, so like maybe he can still end up holding it. Some excellent Disruptor hits. With the Spire coming up, DRG definitely in control right now.
This is pretty wild. I gotta say, Hurricane's microing his heart out, but I think it's too late.
Yeah.
The Lings are gonna take out the Nexus. There's really nothing to keep the ramp protected. DRG is gonna win game 2 and bring us into game 3.
Yeah,
GG.
all right.
Doesn't even go for the shot.
Very, very, very different game there.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the Adepts were all kind of spent. He didn't have that many units at home. Tried to get out while doing massive amounts of tech and taking a third, and DRG with that counterattack just kind of breaking through a little bit too quickly.
Yeah.
Like, he had the tools to end up holding that,
Yeah.
but when all the Lings got inside, there was nothing left he could do. He had no units. You know, the 6 Adepts or whatever that were over at the third came over and just got surrounded immediately. Maybe he should have attempted to, like, shade into his wall. Because if those were standing behind the wall, he definitely lives.
That was definitely, out of all the moments and all the fights that we had, that was the moment where I think Protoss was screwed. Too many Adepts over there, one Stalker to plug the entrance. We're going to go to Oxide. This is the final game in Group A. Hurricane or DRG. Only one will move on to the round of 8. The other is out of Season 1 of the GSL Code S.
2021 GSL Season 1.
We stood at the edge of the world, seized the stakes. They're living a life like dead bodies.
Hurricane. Team NV, DRG.
All right, well, same old hatchery block, forcing that hatch to go down at the third, and now we wait a little bit, see if it's going to be another Stargate opener.
I'm still waiting to see, and if it is a Stargate opener, what kind is it going to be? You know, it's...
He's been half and half today so far.
Do you think I was correct on my read that he wanted to do the Adepts because he saw the Overlord was there and thought he could kill it, and maybe with the hiccup didn't come? That's why?
I think he just probably had the build plan. That's kind of my gut. Like, the Overlord, that was a cool little thing to spot that with the Adept there and get the kill. But, yeah, I mean, the build he did, if you recall last year, we saw Zoun do it a little bit. We saw Trap do it a little bit. And it was actually a very good build where you're like putting on pressure into disruptors, which is like the right. If you go Adept, they have to make like Roach, and generally they'll make Ravager when they make Roach, right? And then Disruptor kind of counters that, and then you add in some Colossus and hit a timing push with Blink Stalkers, and it kind of like it looked really good last year. I think it's a pretty solid way to play, not like an every game thing, but a good thing to mix in. And that seems to be something that we're seeing a lot out of Hurricane, where he doesn't want to rely on one or two things. He has been using a gigantic range of PvZ strategies. He really has.
That's very true.
I feel like we've actually seen now, so far this season we've seen 9 PvZs out of him. And I want to say that we've seen like 7 or 8 different strats.
Yeah, there's been a couple he's pulled out twice. But yeah, I mean, it does seem like he's got a great handle on the matchup in general.
Definitely has a range.
You know, sometimes you get players that really do get a feel for the matchup, and it's kind of wild to see him doing this well against DRG. I'd be curious to see how other Zergs would look against Hurricane right now.
Yeah, we did see Ragnarok, but other than that.
Yeah, well, I mean, and the games versus Ragnarok were pretty good. I mean, he's here now, but I feel like we're watching, you know, each level of Dark Souls boss as far as Zerg players go against Hurricane, and like, how does he handle it? Moving up and up.
I guess that would be the order, right? Ragnarok, then DRG, and like
yeah, who's
so
next? Solar or something like that? Yeah, and
probably
then Solar, and then after that, Dark, and
then Rogue or something,
Rogue,
or maybe Rogue then Dark. Like,
yeah.
That can be argued, I guess, at any moment. Okay, the first Void Ray pops out. Let's see if he goes Oracle. Yeah, he hasn't been very Void Ray heavy overall in his Protoss Zergs.
Well, we were kind of talking him up as, you know, going for lots of Void Ray approaches, but it does seem like the Protosses are all differing in how they're approaching this matchup out here.
Yeah.
I mean, one player's play style isn't necessarily reflective of the other. And, you know, builds like this, I mean, you know, we've seen this before, but it's not, this isn't really the important part, it's what comes next. There's a lot of different types of timings you can do. And again, you know, with the Void Ray out, you can see it's not a very terrifying unit for the Zerg, but it does get rid of Overlords and Lings, and it does generate ambiguity about what exactly is happening there, and that's where these timings that can come out and be so strong.
Lings run up and get rid of that Adept. It does force the Oracle back, so I think that was a nice move from DRG. A little bit of Overlord clearing still going on. Twilight is on the way. And there comes Zerobo as well. It seems like, it feels like overall, this is the type of play that we've seen out of Hurricane that he likes. He likes the 3 base, let's get a big attack going type of build.
Okay, so he recalls that Oracle back.
No!
Oh, what?
Oh!
It like blows up. It blows up back in the Protoss' home. It's that close.
Wow.
Probe is being transferred over here.
And, well, with Glaives on the way, they're going to have a little push. It's not going to be all that dedicated, though, I don't think. Right? It's going to be one of those, like, medium pushes.
Yeah, the Ling's not able to get in here right now. And again, let's see, you know, how this goes. Ooh. With the Queens coming, this indicates it's an all-in.
Well, with a bunch of Glaive Adepts, if he gets back into position...
Yeah, this is funny, because I feel like this is not...
Oh, he doesn't see it, just barely.
Oh, this is so funny.
Well, Solar... I mean, DRG, rather. He is actually turning around against this.
Oh my God, that's so much time. The Queens are off of creep.
Yes.
I mean, he's got really a lot of Lings, he's got a lot of Ravagers, but this... Oh, he's turning around again.
Yeah, worst case scenario, he's turning around twice.
DRG might actually make this work. This could still, it's just, you know, it's a little bit painful to watch because it's time lost either way, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think he realized there was no prism with this, so it's not as deadly as what he thought it might be.
Right.
So now he's turning back around.
These Lings are going to kill off a decent number of these Adepts before they can actually pull away.
The push is going to get the 3rd minimum.
Yeah.
He does not have enough up there, and like he's using all of his Adepts here.
Yeah, and the Void Ray is irrelevant when there's Queens here. I think actually DRG could snowball this. 4 Adepts is...
Dude, this is actually... like, what a game changer this is if DRG comes back. Like, Hurricane will, if he wins here, Hurricane still has a winning record on DRG tonight, but won't advance.
Yeah.
And also, like, it's most likely that DRG plays Maru in the round of 8, which is going to be insane.
Yeah, this is wild. Well, it looks like he did manage to squeak by here with a win. I mean, Protoss maybe comes back, but this is an extreme amount of damage.
Yeah, and like he loses his third, but he gets a few drones during this, and he is making a really scary army. He's going to have Blink +1, good amount of Immortals. Hurricane still has a shot here, but I think he has to go. Like, you can't just sit back. I don't think taking a third is the play.
Yeah, it looks like these queens can probably get away. Maybe not, actually. I guess there's not much back here.
If he can hit his toe on a creep, but it...
Yeah, watching queens retreat off creep is pretty painful.
Those are so high energy, too.
Yeah, there was a lot of value lost there. Not as much as a third base, of course, but I think the follow-up attack is going to be the most important part now, because the third base has been denied. Protoss is limping back into their play here, but you know, Zerg didn't suffer that much in the Protoss's attack.
Yeah, he lost some drones and all.
When you lean into a depth pressure, you are slower on everything else.
That's true. I gotta say, like, it still feels very DRG favored. Like, that was a good pick from Hurricane, and I actually like the risk that Hurricane is running here, where he's going double Robo. So he's just going to pump out, like, a really ground-pounding army.
Yeah.
But a Spire just finished for DRG. And Spire's, like, against double Robo, that's, like, can you hope for better?
I mean, that's probably the tech you need. It looks like it was spotted, by the way.
Yeah.
Some Stalkers and Phoenixes coming. Almost forgot Phoenix was going to be made in this game.
Yeah.
Just because it was so much more about everything else. So let's see, you know, a push coming back up through the center. And what does this look like?
Yeah, maybe Hurricane can pull something together here, because he is going to make a pretty crazy army. We don't see mutas yet. DRG, he's not droning, he's making units. The Disruptor ad going to be fantastic against this account of Ravagers. A lot of Roaches being added in.
And this is a much stronger DRG. The ebb and flow of the early game allows DRG to be into a very healthy position in the late game. And although Protoss can attack out and, you know, be a threat, I don't think that there's anything Zerg really has to worry about.
Blinking back here, moving forward with his army, still a little bit too small, Hurricane, but has the tools to be able to retreat in the meantime, dropping off a couple of depths. It is a big DRG army coming for him. He's up twice the army supply. Oh, an okay Disruptor hit, but he's going to need a couple more like that.
There's some pretty juicy potential Disruptor shots, but I'm worried that Zerg can just muscle through this.
Indeed, there are 3 Immortals, which is pretty good, and I mean, as more Disruptors come out and as he gets Disruptor hits, like, Disruptors are going to be so valuable here.
Yeah, there's not a lot of free room on the ground
here.
Look
at this.
Ooh.
That was actually a good split by DRG, but...
Well, DRG's opening this up now, which gives him a better angle. He's chewed his way through the gateways. Now the Lings come, and the Immortals in the front can't be covered for much longer. We're about to have the third Immortal get killed. No, it lives for a little bit longer.
And a blink forward, because it's just Ravagers left over, so that is definitely something you can fight.
Look at the supplies now, completely even.
Yeah.
How funny.
126 army supply to 68 at the beginning of that.
It seems like DRG was trying to force the issue, and it just didn't work.
Well, he picked off, like, some of the Immortals. Was that good? Well, he's making mutas now. And, like, I guess there's, like, 8 Phoenix. Yeah, there's 1 Phoenix, 1 Void Ray, and then Blink Stalkers. Mutas are going to be strong here, at least for a bit. Throws on some good dials, but insane Disruptor, insane.
Yeah, Muta's coming into the main now. Now, even though Protoss survives, the Mutas now are going to be another big factor here. Doesn't look like they do that much damage either, though.
No, they definitely did not. He recalled very, very quickly. So we are going to have another counterattack on the 4th.
Yeah, denying the 4th is big. That's a big deal for sure. Oh my God, this is a great catch on the War Prism. Can he actually kill it off? No. Goes for the Phoenix instead.
Not quite. Still making mutas. It'll be interesting to see if he continues to produce mutas. Okay. So this type of game almost always goes into a base trade. There's so much creep spread, though, that I could see maybe DRG can fight toe-to-toe, but we should see Archons starting to get added, which like really makes it so the mutas have a harder time engaging the army. So it's like basically as Protoss, if you're not on Mass Phoenix, you're trying to make a death ball that the mutas can't touch, which means that it kind of forces Zerg to counterattack.
Right. He pushes out here. More Mutalisks than there are Stalkers.
Yeah, I'm surprised that we're standing and fighting here.
Yeah. Phoenixes are going to come out, but you need to get enough. Yeah, there we go. The rest of the Stalkers come up. I think he was afraid of a counterattack, but he blinks out now. The Mutas can counterattack in later if he wants.
Oh.
He's going to go for Corruptors. How funny is this?
Yeah, and that's actually a good call because there's a second Stargate and Fleet Beacon. So it's actually going to be ranged Phoenixes as the counter instead of going into Stalkers, which is like a longer-term investment for Hurricane. But the Corruptors can kind of like be right-clicked on them, and you can chase them down to the wall, or like you can dance the Phoenixes forever against the Corruptors, but then the Mutas get a lot of damage done.
Yeah, even if the Phoenixes get away, then the Mutas kill everything. Because the Muta number is high enough. I don't know that the Stalkers can catch up, so to speak.
You know, if Hurricane can hold on a little bit longer here and like actually secure another base.
Oh, I don't know that he can though.
Yeah, that is the tough part, but we don't have like a lot of great things going on for DRG other than he has more. Right? Like he has more of the map, his creep spread's really good, he is very mobile. But if we could actually have Hurricane getting more bases, then suddenly his composition is going to get very cost efficient. It's just he doesn't have much economy.
Okay, not bad here by Hurricane. He chases him away a little bit. Again, though, DRG gobbles up the map as this game goes on here. I mean, it's one thing to see Protoss survive and build up. The question is, when is the counter punch coming?
Well, the Corruptor count is starting to really grow here as well. But this is a lot of eggs in this Muta Corruptor basket.
Yeah. Now he's on the other side here. I mean, these Mutas are kind of stuck over here. The Corruptors are chasing him down, and he can actually take out a lot of the infrastructure here. Maybe unpower the Robo. I guess there's too many pylons, actually. The big attack is coming, though, on this side.
Yeah, just turning into a little bit of a base trade. The Mutas and Corruptors trying to fight over here. The Phoenixes are being so cost efficient, though.
Does Hurricane actually win this?
It's possible.
Seems
Like his ground army is not something that gets stopped easily.
Well, this ground army is going to wipe out everything down here faster than these Mutas and Corruptors dancing back and forth versus Phoenixes can, if I'm not mistaken. I guess there's less bases overall, though, for Hurricane, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know where this goes exactly. This is truly a base trade.
Oh, my God. Well, I mean, there's some heavy multitasking going on right now. Now, I believe we see a hatchery going up in the top left, so DRG really getting ready for that type of base trade scenario. And the Phoenix count is getting a little bit lower. Never did finish that +1, which is kind of nice for DRG. Oh, I guess that was actually just a bunch of units in the top left.
If he can take this fight over here, I mean, there's no probes anywhere else. Protoss is actually pushed, though, into the main. Or Tosis, who wins this?
I think
Protoss.
Hurricane. Yeah. I think Hurricane's going to take it because, like, we just don't have. It's still
Also,
20 Mutas, which is pretty scary, but there's 3 Archons with 13 Stalkers in the main army.
Yeah, the Mutas can't actually kill the army. That's even more important than killing the Phoenixes. Is there's just
like I feel like he should focus Nexuses and then try to figure out how to kill everything else.
Yeah. You know, Zerg does have enough minerals here that I guess he really doesn't, actually. I was going to say he can try to hide extractors, but
no, it's pretty rough. I think Hurricane's going to be able to take it because now we have almost nothing going on, and the Phoenixes can be super microed.
And where are the probes? Just in the main? I don't think there's any hidden on the map here.
There's 5 total, and there's 1 drone on the map. So, yeah, not a whole lot.
Okay, so the where are the rest of the buildings? It's just 6 o'clock, right? There's
yeah.
nothing I see. Yeah, that's it. And there's actually no drones, by the way. So DRG is boned.
That's
That's
a
a
good way to
technical
put it.
term to do it.
Yeah, that's it. He's giving up.
GG,
and
Hurricane.
did it.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Crazy.
Yeah,
All right.
that was a wild game.
Complete opposite of what I would have guessed.
Very, very cool because it felt like DRG did have that. And then Hurricane just barely held on, and there was a lot of interesting choices back and forth. Like he went double robo and then saw the Spire and started to prep for it, and then nothing came from the Spire. So like he couldn't get his fourth, and then the Spire actually started producing. He had to go into Phoenix, and DRG, you can see, just kind of crushed here. This is...
Well, this hurts, man. And I mean,
he definitely could have won that.
He had a lot of ideas at play, but he's going to have to modernize his ZVP. Look, his old style still works extremely well in ZVT, but in this matchup, he needs to update. He needs to upgrade. And ideally, he needs to innovate, because right now, modern Protoss is what Hurricane is. And he's won 2-1. He's the second player to move on to the round of 8 in the GSL Code S, the second survivor of Group A. We're going to have an interview now and see how Hurricane's feeling. Kind of crazy. Him and Bunny are the two to advance in a group they shared with TY and DRG.
I know, it's crazy.
Well, in the final match of the best of 3 between Hurricane and DRG, it is Hurricane who wins, and he moves on to round of 8. Congratulations. This is your round of 8 after 5 seasons. How do you feel, Hurricane?
진짜 기대를 많이 안 했었는데
I actually had no expectations coming here,
감도 잘 만나고
but now that I advance,
기대를 안
everything feels so
하셨다고
surreal
하는데
right now.
요즘 경기를 더 잘하세요.
But you played so great today,
아무래도
Hurricane.
마음을 좀 비우고
Well, my
생각을
mindset
많이
was to play as
하고
comfortably as
경기장에서
possible,
판단이 잘 서고 뭐 그런 게 도움이 됐다.
and I think I was able to make good
남기훈
decisions
선수
today overall.
폭풍과 역장만 잘 치시는 게 아니라 불사조
Hurricane,
거리두기도
you're not only good at making
선수
stasis fields and
마지막
psionic
세트
storms,
승리 기분 어떠신가요?
you showed great micro with the Phoenix as well.
일단 마지막에 이제 그 판이 결정전이잖아요. 그래서
In the last set, that was the
다른 네 세트보다
set that mattered the most.
긴장이 됐고
So I was really nervous in that set,
실수하지 말고 최대한
and I kept
이기는
reminding myself
식으로
not to make any
천천히
mistakes,
하자라는
and I try to play as slowly as possible, and I think that's how I won today.
위기가 됐었죠. 심리전이 안 통하고 예상치 못한 그 영러쉬의 패배를
So in the
해서
second game,
지구에 좀
you did
다양한
lose to
표정처럼
DRG's
보였었거든요. 좀
reverse
표정이
sweep. So
어떤 의미였나요?
what happened in the game?
일단은 그 판은 제가 페인이 상대 움직임을 놓쳐서라고
Well, then in game,
놓치지만 않았으면 제가 그
I lost the enemy's
이겼을
movement,
거라고
and if I
생각했고
just kept
실수를
focusing
한
on his
게 좀
movement,
아쉬워서
I could have won that
그랬었던
game,
것
but
같고 다음 판더 집중하려고 했어요.
I couldn't win because I
이번 시즌
lost,
신이봉
his
선수에게
moment.
승리를 거둔 것에 이어서 박수호 선수에게도 이기시고 저그전
So
폼이
you beat
아주
TY
좋습니다.
and then you beat DRG,
작년에 승자전 테란전
and your
패배는
PVZ
조금
looks
아쉬운
awesome right
느낌이세요?
now.
일단은 경기 준비하면서 테란전은 아무리 준비해도 뭐 감이 진짜 하나.
I kept practicing the PVT, but I still couldn't grasp the feeling of it.
생각해놓은 게 있어가지고
And as for PVZ, I had prepared some builds I could use,
아다리도 저그랑
and everything fit in correctly today. My strategies.
이 테란전에 대한 숙제를 남겨놓은 이 상황에서
So
사실
your
8강
PVT
상대는
still needs some
기조의
work to
1위
do.
선수와 만나게 되거든요.
So
그런데
now you'll be
하필이면
playing against the first seed of Group B.
저그 조입니다. 조성주,
And
김도욱, 조중혁,
In
강민수
Group B, there are
선수,
3 Terrans
누구를
and
응원하고
1 Zerg.
싶으세요?
So who are you rooting for as the first player that comes out of that group?
4명 다 너무 제가 많이 이겨본 적이 없던.
Well, the 4 players, I haven't beaten them much in the past. So my mindset is I don't care whoever I play against.
강민수 선수를 응원하시는 게 가장 좀 승률이 높아 보이는데.
But Hurricane, it seems like you rooting for Solar seems the best scenario. Is that right?
요새 테란전 폼이 올라왔다.
Well, Solar these days, I heard rumors that his ZVT is really good these days.
올라올 수 있을 것 같다고 생각해요.
So I think Solar might have a chance at making the first
자,
place in the Group
남기훈
B.
선수의 2019년 시즌2 이후 5시즌 만에 8강.
So Hurricane, as I said before, this is your round of 8 after 5 seasons in 2019 Season 2. How do you feel?
일단은 뭐 기대해 주시는 계속 응원해 주시는 팬들 정말 항상 감사합니다.
I'm always grateful to my fans for cheering for me, and I'll try to make good preparation for the round of 8.
그렇습니다. 다시 한번 진출 축하드립니다.
Once again, congratulations, Hurricane. Thank you.
네, 이렇게 두 번째 8강 진출자 남기용 선수 만나봤는데요.
All right,
A's
guys. Well, that
경기
does it
결과
for
확인해
day
보시죠.
1 of the GSL Code S. It was fun doing Code A, but I'm glad we're back in the official
Yeah.
GSL greatest tournament for StarCraft in the world. We missed you guys. Thanks for waiting. I like our long-form tournaments out here and the stories we get to build behind them. But
Oh, what a day.
what a story today. One I wouldn't have believed if you told me it was going to happen before I saw the games. Bunny beats TY. Hurricane beats DRG twice.
Yeah.
And then even Bunny versus Hurricane, I thought Hurricane would probably take that. So what do we know?
I know.
Apparently nothing.
Well, let's see what's going to happen in Group B. Maru, Solar, Cure, Dream.
Yeah. 3 Terrans and a Zerg. This is going to be a fun one. Let me go out on a limb and say I think Maru advances out of this, but
Well, that's what you
know,
said about
that's-
TY, too,
yeah,
so I
and
can't really trust
I had
you
to turn in
anymore.
my caster badge after that. My caster license got revoked, being foolish enough to think that TY of all people would get out of a round of 16 group. How
You silly
embarrassing.
man. No, I think he actually has the records on advancement to round of 8. I'm actually fairly certain that TY holds that record. Like, he has been in round of 8
mean,
almost every season. Like,
This
for
is
the last few
actually
years.
the easiest part of our jobs is in a round of 16,
Saying
confidently
TY wins.
saying TY advances. Is it a fluke? Are times changing? I don't know. But Bunny getting this far now is incredible. Hurricane keeping a grip on PVZ and actually advancing to the round of 8 is exciting as well. And it shows DRG, I mentioned this earlier, but I do want to repeat it, like his TVZ or his ZVT style, it still works today. I mean, obviously it's in Legacy of the Void, but the same ideas are applicable now, obviously, as he knocked TY out of the group. But he has not modernized his play. He's not playing like a lot of the Zergs that play now.
Yeah, his
and he's-
CVP is a little bit off still. He needs to work on
It
that a
seems
bit.
very stale.
Yeah.
It's just
I'm sure that he's going to go home and fix that up. Like, I mean, Hurricane has shown very good PVZs overall, so
Right.
you gotta give him some credit
And
there.
you also got to imagine that in this group, he probably thinks TY is the biggest threat, and he can maybe beat these other guys. So maybe just focus even more on
Oh,
TVZ.
totally. Yeah.
Anyways, guys, that's our show for tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. We love you. We're going to be back Thursday, 6:30 p.m. KST. That's the new date. No Saturday cats. We love you guys. Stay safe. Bye-bye.